Waiting I for be today. Okunere, you were there for me. Onyenzo pota, you know they for my hand. See how you came, and you turned my life around. From nothing to something, Daddy, you're taking me everywhere. Okunere, you were there for me. Onyenzo pota, you know they for my hand. Oh, Chinechere, Odigonye dikagi. Chinechere, Eze nazame pere. Okunere.
This one I call spaces for change. Unuga abode kaba deba. Spaces for change. Oh, Bawa, Melekaba Kawaba, nobody Katata. Iti wenyela aka nyanya ndomodo kokasi anyo kudi iche pasalo dekodo ke debano in the community investor guidelines. Community investor guidelines for Aguilera as an emerging oil society. There are things we need to know. Why wenyela aka anyo wako the Anambra State. Because now by passion of oil or value and their way, Anambra State is a an oil producing community. Ma they can leave the law for na when they more to be fine so when they pick it up from the spaces for change. When they are top rank when they go back away. So, people can follow the next business for change. Having said that, I want to officially welcome the organization for Spaces for Change. I now say welcome to Anambra State and welcome to Aguilera particularly. Who never you want to know what I'm saying? Oh my God, what the mind there? Now I'm a little so no evil. Esquire. So that's who then Esquire. How they did it about is a lawyer. Then I know what the sister Bamana Mrs. The sister Bamana, one of our visitors. I will Oluwakosi Akintola. Microphone come out I want to know. So and they are normally opening. Never gonna need one more. We are also I know to find equal melon, equal of equal also. I'm about that, I come from the people, all your America, you are a special guest. All your America, I am the welcome. Now, I present one full amount. I am able to enter the lodge, which shall as well serve as opening prayer. So, as of Kanye, where enter the microphone. For Ben and I at the lodge, the background.
I'm going to
our uncles,
representative of the Honourable Commissioner member. I this one look in I can see who I am 2023, who I am 2024. Who I see the day I am a young flying. I see the good book is young. Get a never big woman. Get a new record there. My see the good book is young. Iya ni kɔndu a tubi iya ni ezigbo nwa n'aba azụ nwa dị ka eke otu o mere na atụ ma onye otu si ya azụ nwa na anụ mmanụ ndị ọzọ anyị na-ayọ gị bụ ire eji enyere ndụ aka bụ otu nke mgbe anyị si biko ihe enye anyị ego ka anyị na-akpazi ego bụ mmebe anyị na-abịa anyị milion maka na milion na ndịrị nwere onye mgbe anyị na-ayọ obodo n'ịhụnanya n'ime anyị nwere mmụọ iwu tupu be anyị n'ime ka anyị mmadụ ibe anyị n'anya karịa ka anyị si gbuo onwe anyị uche ndị kutu na-eme n'uche gị eme n'ụwa ọ bụ uche mmadụ mgbe anyị kelere gị maka ụbọchị taata anyị kelere gị maka ndị irutere aba kụziere anyị ihe anyị na-amarọ mmanwụ dị n'obodo anyị onwe ndị batara nne na nwa anyị akwụkwọ dị iche iche site n'ike gị na enyemaka gị ndị nwa ma abịa ka ha kụziere anyị anyị ama maka na iwe na-amara ọbụla ọgbọ o nwere ụdị nkuzi anyị amụta ebe a na ege nwere nwekene wee sogote ndị daba anyị manụ ụmụ gaghị esogbu ebe abịa ka isi tụwa isi dịko ndị anyị yitere anyị anyị na-asị na ndụ anyị adị ọ bịa gara ebe a ya bụ ije ọma ndọrọ ezi na-ana ngwa ezi wee na-anya maka ịtara ji bịa ihe erurere ezi ọbụla ọ ya aga na-enwe nsogbu ọbụla ndị ibere elu ma ndị si elu wee bịa ya na n'udo na ọṅụ ndị si ma na wa ya bịa ya na n'udo na ọṅụ banye nwere nsogbu ọbụla mgbe anyị si ihe wee ebido anyị ka anyị wee bịa nwee mba n'ime ka ọ mụtara anyị ezigbo mkpụrụ mgbe anyị si bido anyị na-ekele ndị dara nne ọ ya adịrị na anyị na ndebe anyị nwa anyị mgbe ebido oge a ka anyị baa ya otu afọ ama stovu na waka
social justice, we promote community development, we promote environmental justice, we promote participation of youth and women in the governance process in Nigeria. So we have head office in Lagos, we have branch office in Owerri. We also have in Ghana, but that does not mean that we don't cut across every other state that has something to do with environmental justice. So we have interest in this research thematic area: energy, environmental justice, youth development, human rights, urban governance, and security conflict. But why we are here today is under environmental justice. Bakala, I know that Nando and Abune were all that their community. So, because since we started, we've touched like 250 something communities, host communities, Niger Delta, especially the state of Aje River. So we thought it good to also engage Anambra, also to enlighten them for way forward on how to negotiate with investors in the community, already exploiting these natural minerals in the community. So, but before we did this research, there is another research that we did on Uguta and Aje River. That research, we had a lot of findings from oil communities. What the challenges communities are facing in the sense that in the stage, started from exploration, from planning, exploration, and all around that they don't engage extractive processes. They don't engage women. Why? Sometimes you don't have the right information. So that right information is what our idea of coming today, to enlighten us more, know the details, the right information to give, the right question to ask at the right time. So that is what also gave birth to this community investor guideline. Is a way we help the findings we gather, we put it in a document called community investor guideline, which is strengthening the negotiating power of extractive communities. So that the publication will be used to strengthen more our knowledge on dealings around extractive in the extractive processes. Thank you for pardon me for not commenting or recognizing traditional rulers. So sorry. We also have this Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Resources invited them. Also, I don't know if they are here. I'd like to also recognize them. We have the representative from Ministry of Natural Resources, Engineer Obiadi. We also have Mr. Igolike Henry, head of Department of Upstream Petroleum. And we have His Royal Highness Chukwuemeka Eri Esora, 34th President Akajioko of Nando. We also have His Royal Highness Igwe Johnson. We also have His Royal Highness Igwe DPK Jim Ujoma Akobata Ipeani Igwe Ochocho Umuodu. Okay, I don't know if the ministries that I mentioned, are they with us? Invite His Royal Highness Igwe J.O. Mbadevu, SSG of Rama of Onago, to also give us his own good reports and all.
Yes, thank you. Let me welcome my colleague, His Royal Highness Igwe Emmanuel Edo. Ndị anyị ekele n'ụlọ, ndị anyị ekele n'ụlọ. Ndị anyị na-agba nọ ndị a na-akpọ Space for Change. O nwere oge gara aga njem ya workshop n'Owerri. Ndị njem ndị Anambra State. Anyị kwesịrị ịdị ikpe na abụ eje from Anambra State. Owipe from Anambra East and Owipe from Obara. So unfortunately, Obara Igbo Obara Adaro. So Obama Igbo Ejelemu. So that was like for 3 or 4 days. So I remember I was trying to put my name basically went up. I'm not even the line. And evolution. Agbogbo ya lò eke so natazame na-edeli ibe kama adịaba egwu anyị n'ekuzi ahụ. O nwere one of us somewhere there bụ ọdụdụ dịba ma nnelele onye na-abụ sowede. So ọ bụrụ n'ekuzi ahụ adịaba anyị na abadịa mgbe ebe a wee egwu anyị na itinye ego ya na-eri nne. And ọbụrụ tebụl ya na-etinye ya n'ọrụ na o ji abara anyị uru, ọ ga-abara nwoke bara nwaanyị bakwuru obodo bakwuru steeti. So chụkwunye aka gbara eze anyị ya bụ ihe mmadụ na-amara ọbụla ọgbọ ọ yechara na be anyị and ndị na-enyere ọhịa ahụ bụ saa awụ awụ n'ime jụrụ arụ. So kama yìí ni wọ́n wò lóòrò kò sáyé bẹ́ báàmà so ọ̀nà kan kì í tiẹ̀ kò sí kaba bẹ́ẹ̀. Ama lọ na asụsụ na-ewute m na Pọl ma kwesịrị ozu na dis Pọl kwesịrị ozu elu ma ndị otu ozu elu bụ na ọ bụrụ ego ka a ga n'ike ma ọ bụrụ anyị na announcement na ọnwe ndị na-abịa ike ego na mmadụ ka ego ebe a mana ihe ya akụziri anyị taata ka na-atụ ego anyị na ka ego ahụ eke ama amazụ na oge anyị na-ebe ọ ndị nọ na nnukwu gọọmenti na-eke akparaịs na-eruo 5 kg otu nwoke isi kere obodo ebe a ekechere ụlọ mkpụrụ ya nke nwere oge anyị ya akụziri anyị n'ebe ibe so na-anaghị ka anyị pay attention to farmers ka anyị position oye ebere anya taa ana m ekele m unu your highness
on the already established protocol to start biko ihe anyị bịara abụghị anyị abịaghị inye lecture or just ogologo Igbo but I would like us to take our time just listen to us ihe anyị bịara ịpụta bụ ihe ga-abara unu nwa uru bakwanụ those community as a whole ọ nwere ndị na-anọrọ ebe a tata we want to believe that ndị bịara n'oge ihe ozi ọma anyị wetara we also spread it so that other people will get to hear. Not to be okay because people have so many things this morning, but I just want to buttress 1 or 2 points. HVGO is interested to see that justice is done to all, particularly as it concerns environmental justice. Ọtụtụ ihe na-eme ebe a na-ekwute mmanụ na ihe ndị ọzọ ihe akụakụ dị iche iche Chineke jiri ju obodo mma. Ile anya na other communities anyị batara, we found out that at the end of the day, the community people are always cheated out of the deal. Investors, when they come, ha ga-akpọ lawyer bịa, ha ga-akpọ value ya bịa kpọrọ expert bịa. But sometimes the community, they don't really have all the technical support they need to be able to deal with these people and also to insist on what their rights are. Imagine when once you don't know something, you are bound to suffer from the consequence of not doing that thing. So our own as Basis 14 is to strengthen you, to make sure that you have the necessary capacity to deal with these investors each time they come. And I tell you, when you talk like somebody that knows your rights, you know what you are talking about. You can't be a pushover. And they will know you know. And your right to get to you. But when you don't know, that is when they tend to take us for granted. And at the end of the day, we will be marginalized. But I am talking about Anambra is to Duama. And then I do it. Only they follow. Only behind the last year, I for a national extractive dialogue. We brought together representatives from all the 9 oil processing states, from all the states. We are 9 in Nigeria. Every one of those states were represented in that meeting. And also, not just Liberia, regulators, NUPRC, the Navy, and the people who have extractive in Nigeria and all of them, they are in that meeting. So, onye dị n'ụwa n'ihe anyị kwuru ebe a, wee chọpụta na some of the things they kwuru ebe a bụ ihe kwesịrị na ndị obodo ga-anụ, ọ bụ ihe okwu onye na-anụ, and that is why we are here. So, biko, as my youth, next week oge, anyị ga-ekwu ya n'ịchapụ. A ga-akpọlite my colleague. Let her come and do the first presentation. We want to apologize because we wanted to project behind you so that everybody will be following. But unfortunately, it's not showing on this wall. So it would be better if it's a white wall or a white platform. But we'll see how we can carry everybody. We have the publication here. But I cannot go around but behind the new photos. I come from different communities there. So at the end of the day, I got every representative of all these communities there and there. When you ṣe ìdílé wáyé láàbù. Ayé mi ṣe ọdún ìlú fẹ́ wọ́n yẹn á máa bọ̀ ní kí tètè láti open those doors to understand. So ẹ̀jẹ̀ náà yóò work again those things. She has been welcome before. So can we put our hands together and we welcome her to come and take us on the first for the presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Royal Princesses and our esteemed guests from Aguilari and Funando community. I apologize once again for the issue with the projector, so I really hope you can follow along and I apologize once again. Standing on already established protocol, I'd just like to start by talking once again about the Community Investor Guideline. It is a publication that Spaces for Change released in 2022 from a research that was carried out basically on extractive communities such as yours and the relationship with these investors such as the Orient Oil Company that you are having a discussion with right now. And so we want to just basically explain what extractive communities are and basically all the legal provisions for these extractive communities. When it comes to your negotiation with these oil companies such as Orient Oil Company, how should the negotiation process follow? What are the benefits that you are entitled to as host communities? What are the duties and obligations of these investors, that is the oil company, towards you? And so we start from the beginning. The Petroleum Industry Act, which is the legislature, the Petroleum Industry Act, which is the established law by which the entire host community and investor relationship is established, defines extractive communities as these communities with deposit of mineral resources or oil and gas that can be extracted through physical or chemical means. And so basically, an extractive community is any community that has oil and gas, like the Aguilari and Uponado community. And so, now one thing that the Petroleum Industry Act also differentiates, because there have been some issues, is the difference between a host community and an impacted community. So while a host community is one like yours, where you have these oil companies situated directly in your community, impacted communities are those communities that while they might not have these oil companies directly in their vicinity, they might not have them in their vicinity, they are also affected by the effect of their extractive project. And so there are communities around you that maybe these oil companies have to pass through their communities to get to yours. Like I know there's a new Lueri. You have to pass through Mulueri to get to Aguilari. So there are communities like yours that these communities have to pass through to get to yours. While they might not have these oil companies in their vicinity, they are also impacted by the effect of their extractive activities, and so they are referred to as impacted communities. And so one thing that we've seen that has continued to occur in communities like this is conflict between the investors, that is these oil companies, and you, the community members. And a major reason for this conflict is the benefits. That is the benefits that you should get as community members that we've seen that you haven't been able to get. And so what happens is that these oil companies, they come in, they make promises of compensation for acquiring your land, and then they do not actually fulfill these promises. And so we see that certain conflicts occur between these community members and the extractive companies. And so this conflict, they continue to occur throughout decades, from the beginning of Shell coming into the Niger Delta region in the 1950s, even till now. We see this conflict continue to occur because community members still keep asking, where is their due compensation for the acquiring of their land? And so that's why we're here, to help you understand the proper negotiation process for you to be fully compensated for your land that will own the natural resources that is found in your community, who is the actual owner of the resources. Now, one thing that's actually quite interesting is that according to the 1999 Constitution, the Petroleum Industry Act, the Land Use Act of 1978, the Exclusive Economic Zone Act, although you community members do have a customary right over your land, the land actually belongs to the federal government. That's what the law says. So the law says, although you had the land for so many years, and that's the restriction on your part, although you had the land for so many years, whatever is found on that land, whether it's gold, whether it's oil, whether it's gas, everything belongs to the federal government. So the federal government has the right to do what they do with it, even if it means giving ownership of the land to. I hope we are all following that. restriction on the part of the communities because this land has been in your possession for so many years. And so this is why you see in certain cases that these investors, they go to the state government who actually gives the land over to them. So like I said, this means that although you have a statutory right to the land, although the land has been in your possession, the land actually belongs to the government, and whatever is found on the land, the government says it has ownership of that, which means the government is trying to say it has the right to give ownership of that land to a private oil company, and you have to sign that land into their ownership. Now, what we see is that it's stated that there are many benefits of these extractive companies coming in. The government has stated that yes, the youth get jobs, there is women inclusion and youth empowerment when these extractive companies come in. There are important technologies, using of infrastructures in your communities. All these benefits may be seen to exist. The truth is that the pains of these extractive companies coming in, they are more than the benefits. And I think you know that firsthand. Some people refer to this as a resource cost, where these people brought with them a cost to the communities when they started their extractive operations. And one of the pains that I think has been seen with these extractive companies is the frequent oil spills and degradation of the environment. And so because of the oil spills, the environment has been destroyed, especially in communities where you see most of them, they are fishermen or they are farmers. So because of these oil spills, the water is polluted, fish die, and they are not able to actually earn any money. For the farmers, their crops also die, they are not able to earn any money. And then the oil companies do not actually give them jobs, apart from the jobs of construction workers. They promise to provide jobs, but they do not actually bring it. Another issue that they've seen is the exclusion of communities when it comes to the benefits. Now, communities are supposed to get a yearly compensation from these oil companies. They are supposed to get their benefits according to the law. But what we've seen is that these communities are made promises, and some that have been acquired as far back as 20 years ago, they have not been given any form of compensation by these oil companies. And that is sabotaged by community conflict. But what has been seen is that due to this low employment opportunities, most youth engage in criminal acts due to the fact that they don't have anything else to do. And so criminality occurs, we see conflict come to rise, and then we see that the area just becomes restive, and then there is no peace. So the fear of conflict arising just continues to occur due to the fact that there are no employment opportunities from these extractive Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, that they want to acquire this land and they want to explore the land for oil resources. So they're going to meet the MEPRC, and then MEPRC actually grants them the right to do that. Another thing they're supposed to do is to revoke the title of the landowners and give them fair compensation. Like I said before, the law says that despite the fact that the land has been in the possession of communities, the land actually belongs to the federal government. And so what these oil companies are supposed to do is to go to the state governor to ask for a revocation of title. The state governor will give them the permission. And once that is done, immediately they are supposed to compensate the landowner. That is, you people that consented to giving them the land, and then they're supposed to compensate you or get your area. So wherever the land is that they have acquired for their extractive project, they are supposed to contact the local government chairman that they want to use that land, as well as contact you. And so negotiations will occur with both you, the local government chairman, and the state government on how this land will go to the private oil companies. Another thing that is supposed to be done is that they're supposed to set up post-community development trust. That is a trust fund for you to get the benefits that are required from their petroleum operation. Like I said before, every community is liable to 3% of the revenue of the oil company. And so this post-community development trust fund is supposed to be set up for you to get your yearly benefits from these oil companies. Another thing they're supposed to do is to ensure that as they are undergoing this project, the environment must not be depleted as a result of that. Unlike what we are seeing now, what these oil companies are supposed to do is ensure that every single extractive project that is carried out in an environmentally fashionable manner. So where there are oil spills, immediately they are supposed to clean up. Wherever a pipeline is burst, immediately they are supposed to fix it, and immediately they are supposed to respond to it. And anytime they see any issue, respond to it, address your needs to ensure that the environment is not degraded at the expense of their extractive activity. So these are the things that these oil companies are supposed to do for you, the community. And another thing they're also supposed to do, before they start, they're supposed to carry out an environmental impact assessment. What are the effect of this project we are going to carry out? How much will it affect this community? What are the effects of this project we are going to carry out? How much will it affect this community? How much is it going to affect the environment? Will it affect them negatively or positively? So these all companies, before they even think of starting their work, they are supposed to actually go around, look around your environment and see the impact of their activities on your environment. That way, they will understand how to carry out your operations, so that even as they're carrying out your operations and benefiting, you, the community members, are not suffering at the expense of their monetary benefits. So this is what they are supposed to do. Apart from that, finally, they're also supposed to acquire certain licenses from the government. So we have three types of licenses. We have the petroleum exploration license, which means that these all companies only just explore. They're not going to take away your oil. They can just look at the land. We have the petroleum prospecting license, which means that these all companies can actually take your oil and they can throw it away if they want to. Then we have the petroleum mining license, which gives them the right to actually fully work on your land and to fully carry out their activities. And that license can last as long as 20 years. So all in all, before they carry out their operations, these communities have to first put forward the needs of the community members. These all companies, they have to first put forward your needs. But we've seen that while that is stated in the law, that has not been the practice. What these all companies are continuing to do is carry out their activities at the expense of the communities, to the suffering and degradation of the environment. And so, this has the end of that session. I will call on Chikachi now to carry it there. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that presentation. People, I thought calling an assist to you ever. I'm not going to do that. What I was telling you, okay, then if we expect reaction, actually, only what I can hear from, at least we have to ask us questions. If only us agreement, where we go, no other comment. I don't want so people open eye because all she did was tell us what to an extractive community. Wait now, how you follow the way? So, people extractive community. When I say extractive, they are man is the same man. Getting out with the name man. Oh, you know that was just the basic of what she was talking about. Didn't need no idea about. So, before your own question start coming, who are your real question? Okay, somebody is already. Can we get the second mic?
I said, you will attack more by. Now, I'm 75% level. I'm trying to go line. All is very, very fast. English borrowed language. In our usually have English, you are a mile, one and a half. All not mathematics. What do I have when you see no one? After one, you do generally talking more about the line. Oh, yeah, I said it now. So, the one, each I have to run out of finding easy, he walks line. Then, question on normally open. Sina maka ndị oil company na ya enye anyị ọrụ ma ọ bụ na-emebi obodo anyị. Eyi emebi ọrụ anyị, mmebi ebe anyị na-apụta azụ na ndị ọrụ ugbo ka anyị bụ. Ọ bụrụ na anyị eji oke enye anyị ọrụ ahụ ma ọ bụ ka wa kọmpaseti anyị ma ajụ. Ebe anyị eme, anyị bụ the community a na-amụ mmanụ na aba anyị. Ekene m unu.
Ihe anya na agenda for some of us nwere agenda. Anyị nwere another section. Ebe anyị kwuru maka right, that is ikikere community a na-amị mmanụ na be ha nwere. Ọ nọ na agenda. We are still coming to that. We also have the duties. Oke na ọrụ dịrị ndị bịara ịmị mmanụ n'obodo. Ọ nọ na ihe anyị ga-ekwukwa taa. But ọ bụ na ịjụgo the question, I will need to address it. That is why anyị ji ekwu okwu host community development trust. Because ebe anyị nọ now. Amara mgbe anyị nwere idea na enwere iwu iwu ọhụrụ na-akwado ihe niile gbasara mmanụ na Naịjirịa. Enwere iwu ọhụrụ a na-akpọ Petroleum Industrial Act. Ama m ya know about it. Anyị ama maka ya? Okay, some of us ma maka ya, some of us amara maka ya. That law came into existence. Okay, ọ batara in 2021 ka our president, that was Buhari, signed it into law. So all the operational, all ihe a na-use kita to checkmate the activities of investors. Before, when they were on PIA, I na PIA that was short. So if I say PIA, know that I'm referring to that law. When they were on PIA, they were in agreement ndị obodo na ndị na-dere investment na science. Anyị na-akpọ MOU. Do you understand? But otu ọ dị now, that new law ewepụtara now have overtaken the MOUs. Those MOUs cannot really work out again because enwere na law that is guiding or na-akwado ihe niile gbasara ime mmadụ. So what am I trying to say? Abịa na PIA nyere iwu extension. Iwu kwagidere na Orient kwesịrị ijiri ọsọ jiri ije set up ihe a na-akpọ Host Community Development Trust for this community. Ọ ihe iwu kwadoro. It is when they set up that trust, that trust nwere about 3 categories of leaders. Enwere the management committee, enwere the advisory committee, then enwere the BOT, board of trustees, under this trust. That Orient kwesịrị ịbịa na community, ya na ndị eze adakọlịta ntị, amara ndị a ga-ahọpụta ga-anọcha na this committee. Of course, on the oil company in conjunction with ndị obodo. Then they said, you can mmadụ 5 or mmadụ 7, so that you can't take 6 people or 4 people. You must be even. Your odd number, 5 or 7 members. Do you understand? And that we are setting up this trust, that every interest in mmadụ needs to be represented. When I say interest, I mean that the youth must be represented. I mean that the women also must be represented. Ndị okenye must be represented. Ọ bụ na enwere ndị nwere nkwarụ, they are also ought to be represented, so that I can carry everybody along with that committee. It is in that committee, when the committee now sits down, because na ha ma ihe na-aba ha n'obodo, ọ ha ga-agọrọ anyị ha na ndị oil company ede ihe a na-akpọ needs assessment. Kedu needs anyị nidiri na this community? Or be high job, or kedu ụmụazị anyị scholarship, or ka arụọla anyị hospital. Ihe ọbụla ọ bụ ihe anyị nwa chọrọ n'obodo a, anyị ga-ewepụtachi ya, ede with ndị oil company. Ama ọbụla na-efolo ihe ndị edecha anya, those things edere with those people a rụpụtara, a ga-eje register ha na Corporate Affairs Commission. Corporate Affairs Commission nọ na Abuja, ha nwekwara office na zonal office na Awka. So, before, why I'm saying all those things is that by the time we set up this Host Community Development Trust, it is binding. If they don't do what people agree, you can sue them to court. But GFOU, memorandum of understanding, you cannot hold them. It's not binding. It's not legally binding on them. I'm not being out here because when those people are doing their kindness, that they are doing all those things, that their corporate responsibility. So you people. But this law now, they make your name mandatory. It's not, we are not doing it for what you want. We are not doing it fair. This is what you need to do because you are in our community. And they take now of this trust with the CACA and the electoral account in the name of your community. This account is where that oil company are now getting 3% of their revenue for the year. One with 3% out of it. They will pay it in full. We'll pay that together. Then they will take care of all those things. I tell you, we cannot buy in our community. And I think I want to look at this share over. But without you going to CAC to register it, or by going to law, I'm not saying that I don't know whether we've even started setting up or whether we have even done that. I'm on stage, I know. But as the year is going, I never enter January I will answer. As the year is going, they go to Nana. Because that money they pay is for that one day. If they are to pay in that 3% for today, that means they can have a project from today down to December. But they don't know what they remember. Your money for this year, on a higher. It's going. So what am I saying? It is very, very important like our governance. 1 year rent, this is the in the section. By the time I go into that, I will give you the section of the law. Because there is issue with the interaction or engagement people are going to have with them. It is what the law says. And you are already in default. Because when people have their record, or that had their for yesterday, they have their. Since 2012, the law will sanction them because by now they're supposed to have set up that. Yeah, yes, I got after very long. So people, came back. Also, when more side for me, it's for this community. Go to the Kunani, and every other place. Exactly. Let's open up. People, so when they come to the area, when are you setting up our community development trust? Because without setting it up, even that 3% I will not get it. So we need to set it up first of all, register it as CST, then open an account and be sure that our money is transmitted there before we start any other thing we are talking about. So it's for your question, sir. If I came before, it's not binding thing. Okay. There's no legality. And then maybe no, but how could they not? I didn't know, right? You can't go with them now. What I have I am telling you now that I will overtake it by. You cannot rely on that again because there's a law now supervising that. Thank you. You understand? People just thank God. Uno gioco di lavoro, non è per la umanità vuole. Io lo dico cosa raga. In abbiamo fatto questa mamma. E da quando abbiamo costruito quello che abbiamo fatto. Si andole, ma ti sta lì, ma è tutti la umanità. Non sai now, dai che fai now. Hold on, don't talk to my God. In that, come someone, when you are not there, they are not to I don't know how they do it. I'm going to say about going on my yard. I'm going to be afraid I'm not going to go to my mouth. It's down on my letter. Even when I did last week. Let me do that. Order. Mama, what did I have more on that? See, we are going to the host community. I'm going to be back. No,
from observations, I thought I'm not NGO Kuno, inclusive, non-governmental organization. I should not know. No, I can't know here. And then I correct somebody. Oh, yeah, I'm going to correct their mistake. I'm going to write it correct here. Oh, yeah, I'm going because someone will mistake and I'm going to tell them where I am. Who will I know who did when I go? Who will feed when I am? Equally, I represent a community. The audience said that I made a mistake. I will follow the Baba and respect. But he been a part of the community to listen and respect. But by the engagement, 5 years woman to find out. Can you live senior mother? Can you wait junior mother? Can you ask gas plant? Why the oil deposit? The original post-com neglected and overlooked. Can you go to 1, Unando 2, Esiago 3? These are the 3 communities with post-com. Yes. Pipe daily from Enugu to top as ever and the gas plant, which is more to Enugu to. The thing that I am one I let the buy and buy a basis. But I can buy a buy or blue baby buy. mana ọ dịrị anyị maka ebe esi tinye paịpụ be anyị anọda kọmuniti ede-ebi gee ihe chukwu nyere anyị ọ na-ewu anyị iwo so ebe anyị si ka unu meela anyị as NGO because na teaching ụlọ a maka like this DIA Igbo now take over the MOU. The DIA nwere one funny trickish thing about your email. DIA, the Minister Commissioner for Petroleum, why am I whether? Just I'm go to my bank. DIA, each community level they want to match us. If they match us, no is here. Instead of only the community in heaven, only the community in heaven. Obama said, "I want 3%. I just 3%." If that's the kind of illusion to be personal. Mana iji ọrụ ọma abịa abịa si ụlọ nke eme nke a anyị ma mkpeti ya nwa anyị bụ anyị ma n'olugbo nwa anyị na ihe onye bụ abịa na ndị 3%. anyị niile ya ekele instead of enye ndị a 3%, enye ndị a 3%, enyekwa ndị a 3%. So dịka a chọrọ unu tinye ndị consideration like etu ụlọ maka ụlọ ọrụ ndị bịagodo n'ebe a o nwere ike abịa si uru agụleri yes agụleri dị ka a na-asị ịgbaji ọta ịgbaji enwere different communities ihe dị iche na agụleri na ekesịa na agụleri n'ụlọ obodo a na-akpọ agụleri community. Any community is different from agụleri community. But you only go to one agụleri. This is poverty. Now from our after much or then so we are different community. Anything they deal with the community, we are different. We have agụleri community, Enugu community, Ezekuru community, Bunado community, and the Enugu agụleri community. Now you follow the people as well. Thank you.
Thank you. We're impacted communities and we're access. Do you understand me? The hosts, like you mentioned, the baby host community now for what you say, from what you say, the baby host.
Three community here.
So, ndị mmanụ anwa nọ na nke
ndị mmanụ nọ na nke bụ ezi akụrụ na mmanụ community, but community and operate nice, you know, go to community.
It's one company, right?
Yes.
You know one company in all those places.
Yes.
The idea, the provision is that the company is their 3% of their revenue. So the revenue we are talking about is comprising of all of these. You can't do it separately now.
So we need to try.
Exactly. Then what you'll be seeking for now, and that is why we say that the law, even us as lawyers, say that that law is not really, how will I say, it's not the way it should be. There's need for amendment. Because over some certain things there is nothing about when they were practicing the law. Like now, wherever man at the domicile, as in this is where it is. Then wherever any pipe. Because without yes, in fact, wherever has to have a tiny coach. Instead of those people now, how would they come to your own side? You understand? So they are equally important, but not as important as you. I'm not being understand. So when we want to share benefits also, they needed to do that into consideration. Like I say, I'm thinking right now. Now, so I'm thinking that nothing has to do with that. Do you understand me? So the percentage of sharing shouldn't be the same. I agree with you. But the law did not say anything. The law is silent on that. So this is the conversation we need to have with investors. By the time we sit down with them, by the time I propose community development trust, because in that trust, even me in fact, they are really for us to be represented in that close community. How you want to that? So that they can really get to the one thing they have. It is when we are doing that we can now decide, okay, look at how we are going to share this thing. About me, when I hear that, of course, just leave me alone. Or when I hear that about NUPRC, that's Nigeria Upstream Regulatory Commission. Or how are they in charge of everything as far as this law and the impact here? In fact, they were supposed to be here with us. But as at this morning, the zonal officer called me to apologize that the Onyakwere Passeria could not make it. Because what I can happen to us who explain those things to us, they are from federal government, they would have explained it and tell you where to come and make complaints if the right thing is not being done by the oil community. We won't be there. But we are here. Our coming here today means that any issue around those things, you can get across to us. We can escalate it to the right quarter. Do you understand me? That is why we are here. Also, as Faces for Change, we have lawyers there that take up legal representation of indigenous communities that are having issues with the extractive the oil in their communities. So we are all around that. Even though they people are put down and making it for here, the part is peculiar nature of the by any non-even Anambra State in the state. So that is why we are here. That is April now, sir. I agree with you. You shouldn't be getting the same thing with when you go on oil and they don't not just fight capas and they do that. They are adding impact on this one. But we have to go the point of all. I used to go to Kenya to drive. I asked them, people have not even set up your front. When they hear them, I am so presenting. Let's do the first thing first. Can we set up this truck? Is that when we are setting it up, that we now look into the percentage of how we are going to share those things. People look at them. Because I know one time like that, at the end of the day, we might not get it. I don't know the thing. I'm not meaning for you, right? So, straight to the point. So that we can respond to them.
The needs of assessment is passing that every outside sometimes last year. 2. Look at it, wherever the expertise now from academic needs of assessment and even account to that then 10 minutes. Most of us have gone places like Bayelsa State, River State, Imo State, Delta State. I am promoted like ABBC in those communities. And some of the roads in like communities, all the ABBC internally. How do we go as those communities to enroll our community in ABBC and have the same people's states?
Natural resources, Anambra State is here. I don't know whether they told me that the way they are still coming. Because they would have responded to this your question. Anambra just joined the League of Oil Producing States. But Anambra was not there since, but I have an idea of oil again. But it was just that for the last 2 years or 3 years, they are gazetted. We now know that Anambra is an oil producing state. Do you understand? So these are some of the things our government here, through that ministry, can push forward. Igbo State were there, how were they go? Do you understand it? Igbo where Igbo State oil producing area, that the government releases their own funds to fund those communities. I know how I suffer the Igbo State. Anambra ought to have it. Do you understand? So that the state will create, a fund for them to also look into some of their issues. Because of course everything that the investors get better. Oh, one thing I get very much.
Biko, ọ na-abata kịta bụ eze aka ndị ọfọ Igbo, biko ka anyị wọta ọmọdụ ya.
Okay, so I don't only doubt one person. While now as for those, it is that trust, because that trust once it's registered, it becomes a legal entity. You understand it? So when someone we hear about other people out of all the trust, that trust is registered as a power. Then you people can now come and represent that news. So once people know again me, then the first one, I'm beginning to, I can't remember the first question you asked. Can you remind me? I talked about this assessment. This assessment. I understand I will CFOU. I signed it. About which I signed it. And all those things I signed it about when you find what we come in, I'm really a when you came in, and people are like, what do we do? They are not done. They are signed, they are signed. Remember what I said. Those things I signed, when we go legal backing, it's not a gentleman agreement. I'm not good at the phone. It's a gentleman agreement. Now, PIA, like I said, is a new law in town. And under this PIA, I come up to bring back all those things I did in GMOU, to put it back in our host community, our own needs, under the host community trust. It is that one that will have legal backing. It is that one that all the handler will oppose us and still them. I'm not being a water. So people, I'm not telling this to you, but that is not the truth. Those things said at that time, you cannot hold them. If you hold them, they will tell you there's a new law. They come between another day where Nigeria has already set out a new way of doing things. So can we articulate, can we harmonize, can we come together again and make sure we set up our trust, bringing back some of those things to be within the things I never expect. Then we can take it up from there. Amara, you guys cover with Ryan.
Yes, very good. The bridges, Codex Unianda. There is something that is very, very important I want to ask. The moderator. The environmental impact assessment for the whole community. Is the community not supposed to be part of that assessment to know what is done? Is this supposed to be done outside the participation of the community, or is that impact assessment, is it supposed to be confidential to the community? I'm talking out of experience. I don't know how any company will come to your community. The full impact assessment has been made substantial. Without the community having a copy or participating in the assessment from community, they are not going to be the same. That is one. I'm happy to hear that you are very, very much aware that what they say is not what they do. They like causing problems in communities. And when this problem come up, they are the ones benefiting. They pick some few. And this is what we have to guide ourselves. Where I come from, I want to tell you specifically. Some few people cornered these people. We agreed to have meeting in the town hall. I was not in town then. I asked them to have the meeting in town hall. I monitored it. You know where they have their meeting? In private house. Okay, give me the content, the minute of the meeting. They say there was nothing. I had to drag them to the commissioner for petroleum and mineral resources. The man told them, you can't do anything without the consent of the people of the community. We are sitting on it. But I want to tell you because I know what is involved. You know, this is an investment for the federal government. If you don't take that play this card, you will be fighting the federal government. They use it against you. The commissioner tells them what to do. And since that time, they have not complied. I'm happy to hear some of these things you are saying. This, and then because he said for them to have license and so on, they're supposed to contact the state government for the revocation of the ownership of the land. And for the license, okay, government they have to grant that. Are they supposed to do this in isolation to the community? Please, kind of.
So, if I agenda, we are still coming to our rights as a community. They are supposed to call us when we are having this conversation around the oil in our community. We need to know, not all of us, but at least the leaders of the community need to know. Operating in isolation. You also need to know. It's a public document that should be documented at the ministry. If they don't give you a copy, you can go to the ministry also and apply for it. But they are supposed to take over because EIA is only environmental impact. What is the impact of that thing actually in our community? What will be the impact if they are to set up their installation? We need to know. What is the health implication for us that is living around that place? These are why. From the very beginning, we'll still get to, I hope I will have the time to do my own presentation. From the very beginning, from why exploration, these are why anything against people will not, your women will not suffer from it. Million will not also be polluted. That is the essence of EIA. But tell our they won't even say what they are coming to do. They won't even the land they won't even be exact on the land, the size of the land they want. Oh, they will move just like that. It is not right. It is not right. Our publications have a detailed step-to-step procedure. What you need to know, what you need to insist on. Do you know that the company can come and say we want to cite something here, and the community will say no. This thing that you can't cite it here because it is not going to be beneficial to us or our generation. They have their reasons, and they will go ahead to say no. They have right to say no. I'm not making an idea. They have the right to say no to such things being cited, and they have their reasons. But there are ways to get some of those things. You don't just say no and start fighting. No. And that is why we are here to give support when such need arises. There are things you just need to put pen and paper and do some things behind the door. When I'm saying do you understand? But this is what, as a community, we need to come together. When because the problem we are having, just like His Royal Highness mentioned, that we're ending up within the community. So it's just them. Also, how they see where we or anyhow. And when you this is what we want. See, very few people will go to behind and go to those oil companies and collect money and tell them that everything is okay. And now, all those people will now be telling them, giving them secrets and giving them away some of the things that they will agree. Do you understand? Telling them, okay, they are doing this person, even they are running, even they go money. At the end of the day, they might tell them, yes, sir. So, you know, when they come, I personally went to it might not be for all of us sitting down here. Maybe you can better and you have a little bit more I can have them. Because as we go along, more minerals are being discovered. Yeah. Do you understand me? So let us not think about just the immediate enjoyment or the benefits I get with it and now forget about the future. So when all I get is something in their community. And even here is supposed to know, like this committee, they can't start picking members of this committee without the effort being involved. It's not that people are going to break, but at least you should know what is happening. You should recommend members of the community that you think can carry out the necessary roles that you have taken. So they can't do without having people on the table. It's your right, and you need to insist on that.
This is not true. I have 3 questions only. My first question is, I'm not funny. Na abalị na ndị na-ekwu mma na ọbara nwere right of 30% when they begin to tell. My question is, of the settlements, of the government that for that 30%?
I think that
That
I'm going to
30%.
put the 3%.
Is it the investors
Investors.
or the government?
Investors.
Upper investors, how do you compete it? Because people they go and buy for 1 and 2 or 3 years. And I am only getting my exactly that 3%, amount of that 3%. How do you get it? That's my first question. My second question is.
Can I respond so that I don't forget those that are giving us the 3%? You cannot know this 3% until you go and register your post development trust. In that case, one will develop has because I got you. I can make a new bank now. Do you understand me? All those information, as we are bringing your own information, investors are bringing their own information. NUPRC is there to guide. Do you understand me? As it stands now, you will not have that information until you get to that stage. Because they will now complete it and now keep. Every year, it's expected that that money will be deducted or they will pay into your account. Then, as it stands now, other years, you are not getting it. I said that PIA came into existence in 2021. I'm not going to put in year 2021, and that is why I said that this year has started going again. Going, and on. Then, this year, this year.
No, follow it.
All that American was saying. So it won't mean that since 2021, 2022, and 2023, your money. That is the law. So when you are because PIA that you are supposed to set up, are you doing the question set up post community development trust? When are we doing it? Not the agenda. All who are about that outside. They want to delay it. They want to delay it because they are not benefit. But once they set up, they are mandatory as in it is by force that they must give you that 3%.
You talk about the PIA. When were you, as far as PIA is concerned, is more or less invalid.
Sure.
And the investors are sitting on the PIA. They don't want to prevent.
Because soon
What do we do to make sure that the provisions on the PIA if that is last question. I discovered that some of the investors, for example, Orient, does not allow other investors to come in to join because we know that we have a lot of Orient periods.
They don't have that right.
They don't have the right.
Yes, they don't have that right to stop any other investors from coming in. They are the wells or whatever what do they call it? Their own well is different from whoever else that is going to come to do their own exploration. Do you understand? So if you shouldn't close your door or you shouldn't exactly, they should allow every other person out to your own good. If you have so many investors, that means they will set up their own trust. You know, what about 3% from that side? Then what about from over there? So let nobody stop any investor from coming into your community. So far they are not when I'm going to talk about the rights, our rights as a community. as regards to the oil resource or the natural resource in your community. Number one, you have rights to compensation. You have rights to compensation. When I say compensation, there are sometimes I'm already discover oil. Every discover oil. I go over farmland. Do you understand me? Because all the oil go by it. That oil they discover at that place does not mean that those people discover it. They will just come and start drilling oil without compensating family or the people that own that particular space. And also in compensation, you are not just paying for the land. How long land they can for it? And another go in for teaching. That is the plant in on any one. And I charge it separate. Then I'm going to here. I'm not going to watch it. Because you know what something they never after they will just move to the new you know what they put there. I want to now I say I go back to the whole that is not so. Everything they trade. Everything done allow in to have its own value. Then the surface itself will also have its own value. So that they will not at the end of the day, cause any kind of treat anybody in the space of doing the business. So compensation with inherent one of government, government also need to pay compensation to such communities. But behind our in private, in practice or everywhere oil is that government can even come and tell you that it's for overriding public interest, and they will just take it like that without doing anything. It is wrong. Or then somebody can decide to challenge that before, and I tell you because it will be fruitful at the end of the day. Even everyone is sometimes that people were confident in doing some of those things. Do you understand me? We can see your father God in the realm for how many years. Because people can have to be patient and do the right thing. Challenge that thing so that tomorrow they will repeat it elsewhere. After presentation, I will take another set of questions. So the next thing, after compensation, people have rights to royalties. There's royalties. There were some places in our community, it is sacred to communities. When they have a kind of that, they have a shrine or kind of some communities in everywhere. But the natural resources is there. Investors cannot just come in and step into your sacred ground. It's not possible. How was the influence? How was the image to appease whatever they that is around that place? And that means that they also respect the community happening inside. So it's expected that government will royalties to be paid for a particular piece of land that they want to acquire, and they should do that. You are also entitled to monetary compensation for damages to the land surface. What was some installation it was done like my brother was talking about a well. So at the end of the day, he still says that well they started using it. But what were some places they were well? Half of anything because they were prospective, they did not see oil. They will leave that well like that open. They will close it up. And you find out that that well can now start causing erosion. Or even cause people to, some people might even fall into that place without knowing. All those things are, they have defaced the surface of your land. And once they do such things, you have rights to insist that they take that land back to the way it was. Or they pay monetary compensation for such degradation of your land surface. Then, legal basis for rights of the practice community. I am coming back to what Victoria Hines asked me. I said here that the community have a right to detailed description, definition, and also the measurement of the land according to any investment. And that is in isolation. When they come in, they should be able to tell you, okay, this is what we want. It cannot be done behind your back. They cannot even do it just for the government. You need to know. This is where they are coming into. This is what they are taking. And if peradventure, now they mess up things, and when the statement, oh, well, I say, you cannot live around here while this exploration is going on. It is very, very detrimental to your health. This is overall there, government also is involved because those from that community will need to be moved to another place where they will have safety. You can't be doing exploration that will harm my life and the life of my born children. It is not right. So the community have rights for people to stay. If really that exploration is going to go on, they have rights to be put in another place after the effect of extractive operation. A lot of things have been happening. Everything goes like that. Like over some places in River State, we find out that it's really hungry. They cannot drink out of it again. There's no how to apply area because how to salad. Why? Oil is spilling and seeping into those streams. They can't drink it again. It's no longer advisable for them to drink. You can see that this one is a major, cost for that exploration. So the community has the right to compensation for the adverse effects of an destructive operation. But sometimes we don't know about all those things. So when it comes to this kind of situation, what do we do? That would be the question. What do we do? Now, I can come here and teach you all those things. Open your eyes to know what you need to know. But without you taking a step or acting with the information I gave you, it's as good as I came here to waste my time. Some of these things I may look at, I'm not a better community. How do we now begin to strategize around it? How do we now begin to cut the change? That is the heading back. We need to come together. I say a journey of 1,000 miles starts in one day. So if after talking all those things, I expect what I advise communities is that people will need to have their own meeting. And say, yeah, this space for change, they are going there the other day. How do we move forward with it? I can't run there. The one also swearing, the photo swearing, the one the child forward to us. Forward all night. Then, over the night, power battle is not just for this one. Power battle is when you are giving the ticket to the next person to do what you can do or what you cannot do for yourself. That is power battle. So that is what we expect from communities. Insurance opportunities to help them with support, technical support, and also legal representation. You must make it formally. A guy on a hall ever can come, okay, I had to take it, I get here, what do you know to tell? Then, to forward to what? We will now act on it. Wait, stay there over. Downside. We begin the journey. I guess somebody will say, look, we are not asking you for your money, so that you understand us. All we are doing is to set things right. Because people like everybody is able to operate it. You will find out that at some point we are going to lose everything. So I do not know very much that the right thing is done. Okay, there I can tell where I can. So after today, I expect that we will hear more from everybody. I have a lot from people, so I have a lot from people now. Other communities did quite well. I'm coming. I will take questions after I finish my presentation. Then we also reach out. Upon ever is very far from other places. We can also move it down to wherever the people know, so that they will hear what we are saying. We did it here because we feel that some people will still come out here. We can still move it, like we are also planning to get down to Omaru, because we also understand the Omaru of our point. We also let them know another bride is coming up, so that they will meet it like rivers and people give the stage that I have pride. Now that we are starting to do the right thing. Then we have pride. Pride is prior and informed consent. Prior and informed consent means the same thing I said before. And they give your consent to be in your community. government to be here. So they cannot do without the community people. And the more they go, they broke and handle. You don't want to. You have the right to also spend. I will give out those books to chief community leaders so that you can also take out the time and go through it. Because I will stand here today everything forever. But we took time to put down all the necessary details, step-by-step guide on how to go about some of these issues. So some community leaders will get it today at the end of this presentation. Over extracting, we talked about it. People were that right to be part of the decision making and everything about it. So, going to their own duties. That is the duties of the extracting community to their host community. Number one, they must respect the human rights of people and their own land. It's expected that the rights of the constitution also take that they must respect your human rights. Respecting your human rights means that if people say that every person here will not know well for us, they should respect that. I'm not going to allow it. They should respect that community says, they're off, they're isolation, they're now. Laws that support that, we have the Freedom of the Information Act, we have the Latest Act, all these laws support that they need to disclose important information. EIA and whatever it is, they need to disclose guided by the law. So they cannot keep it behind people or make or do it without your own consent. Then the cooperation of both community development groups. Remember, we are looking at the duties. In health agreement, what over the health agreement. I've talked about it, so I don't want to go over it. But note that HPCC is something that they need to set up law. Behind the state law over here, maybe initiate the process of setting it up. Meaningful consultation. All these things that like we talked about new oil companies that might come in. They can't come in without consulting with you people. And when they are doing that consultation, that they be in a public place, just like this place, or we have a men who go for it. I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
So that everybody, at least people say, do you understand me? And the police can stop a group of people who get met. People that need to know what to do. I never have told you, they disclose on what exactly they want to do, and they will allow you to state your own side of the story. How you want it to be, how you work it out. But what we advise communities when it comes to this kind of situation is that when you go for such meetings, don't go there just only community person. No. If we are able to establish the relationship we are building with you people, time has come when you want to negotiate or when you want to go for such meeting, you invite the technical person or you invite a lawyer to prepare, because suppose the time can serve out, they will prepare it and you will not even know which side the other side, your father's life and give them. But you need somebody that understands all their things to be there. So once we want to do such consultation, please get the right people, get the informed people to be part of that consultation. And nobody will shut you out. Know that you have rights to meaningful consultation and also right to state how you want the whole investment to go about. Okay. Adherence, they need to adhere to local content rules, job quarters for community. This one is also there. There's a law that supports it. When they are coming, and that is also, if you go into your, when we are setting up our HPC, our needs assessment and every other thing, that is where you extract all the commitments you need from this oil company. Can you do it? Who does not talk? Every people from other places and now come here and be working. Some of our things that can do this work that is within here.
Yeah.
I for you now. Most people start. I can find out the things that are committed there now the same thing. Upon one day that are still workers, they are still have. We also give you people so that people can teach. I'm not going to know what you need. We need to do. Sometimes you can build human capacity and also human resource by some of these investors coming in. So you people can put it down. And they are doing this thing. I were engineers, I were welders, I were these people. They can do this job. We are saying that as we are coming in, when they say 50-50 or maybe 60-40, let it be part of that day we are rising under our post community development trust. That is where you have legal backing up to everybody. We need to agree on some of those things. Local content, very important. It's a law, and they have to kind of obey some of the provisions. I'm just trying to take the most important ones. Okay, development of an effective complex mechanism. How do we solve problems? How do we resolve issues? We need to think about it. Yes, okay, now I am going to have this issue now. What if there is issue tomorrow? Can I get it? I got police. I got Professor Solubu, General. Who do we go to when we have issue? Like now, none of them were issue with studio rent. We are having issues now.
Yeah.
Where do we report? Where do we report?
That is the point.
So such things need to be captured as we are drawing up our trust. If we have issues, first of all, we do arbitration. Come back, let's sit down and talk. If it's not working, then we will now escalate it. We take it to the government or we now move it to court. We need to agree at the end, it's part of our agreement. So that tomorrow, everybody will know that it's not behind them and stick to it. We won't say because there's no problem at the beginning, that again no problem, we keep issues for you. So let us agree on how we are going to resolve any conflict or problem that comes out in the future. And you take it together. Adherence to all environmental and health regulation law. Every law, and that is why I talked about having somebody, what are some of these things being in your midst. There are so many laws, I can't stand here to start following all of them. To make sure that they are obeying some of this, all the laws stated. They won't do one and leave the other, particularly the one that has to do with our health. There were environmental impact assessment. There were nuclear safety and radiation protection act. There were land use act. There were national oil field protection act. There were APIA. There were company income tax. There were oil and gas industry act. All these things. We need to be sure that they are also adhered to some of the talking with them. So going forward, I just needed to run through what I need to do. First of all, before we take more questions, because our time is already going. So we also look at negotiation. So now we see from survivors at the time, I want to welcome them. Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Resources in Anambra State. You are welcome, sir.
Engineer Obonna. You are welcome, sir.
We also have Mr. Henry, Head of Department of Spring Petroleum, also from the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Resources in Anambra State. You are welcome, sir. Giving power, because it's all about negotiation. You must be called, not everybody, but at least the leaders of the community at some point will be called to sit together on the table with these investors so that how this thing is going to happen in your country. It's a process where 2 or 3 people come together. You come together to resolve a matter or even to talk about on how to resolve some certain differences. We're talking about exploration and expansion. That means the coming together now is how are you going to come in and do this business in our community? Then how are we, like we are coming into our community to do business, how are we going to benefit out of your community to this community? We need to sit down and talk about it. As we are talking about this thing, that is where we now look at the cost implication. What is the cost implication? What is the profit? And also, what is the challenges? They need to tell you. Some people will come in, they won't tell you what will happen if they come in. River State, immediately the exploration, they started having this black smoke as everywhere. Inhaling black smoke, waiting for mother Akana who can feel the black smoke. Do you understand? Also, some of the things that is happening from urban and exploration. They used to play gas. When they do gas flaring, a lot of things go wrong within the community not around. So during this negotiation, they need to tell us, what exactly are you coming to do? Can you do not be email? I don't know whether you want to be email. Oh, when or what did email? So that I can father as community. I'm not going to our community. After the well, the one, every year like this thing is going to happen, or that thing is going to happen. Then after that, you also need to understand the environmental nature of the kind of operation at your email. And this is where the environmental impact assessment becomes very important. Because that document needs to be processed and also filed. You need to know, designers have asked me, and I'm repeating it again, community has the right to know the content of PIA, five of these things are everywhere, and know the one that will be beneficial and the one that will be detrimental to the health of the people around you. Then, going forward, there are other things and they talk about during negotiation. How far I am, okay, how many hectares of land? How much are we looking at? Then, every alarm for the communities, they are massive alarm for building or something. Because all those things need to be valued and the cost also known so that investors can make the necessary payment. They are not taking your land just like that. They want to pay something because of the land they are taking up. So when does this negotiation take place? We are saying that it is best to start negotiation from the very time they are coming. You don't wait until they have stepped in and start caring about their needs. Then you now start the negotiation. Like this guy will not see them. This is the time to call them to the table. You don't know that guy there, what exactly do you want? Come, let us discuss. Let us understand what we want from the very beginning. All the impact will not make sense at that time. So the earlier the better. And consultation are going on once in a while. It will continue, it's a continuous thing. Until those people who they wanted have a step, then it should also be because as they are doing their business, having the DCA, so that we do it. Open on when some things need it, we will still call them for a meeting. So, meaningful consultation has to be done every time. And also, we need to have the authorization of the government. It must be as early as possible. As early as possible, when things are not really going the way you want it, or like they do the other side. That's the time for you to start looking for regulators or the government. What are you not saying? I cannot now find anything can pay for. But if you don't create room for that negotiation, no room for consultation, you might not even know when you need to stretch out your hand for the government to come in and also assist you. Then, as they are coming, it's expected of them that they will provide sufficient information to the community on the proposed project. They need to let you know. You have that right. You need to know what they are coming to do. Then consultation must be in native language with respect to their rules and customs. Among which they are to begin. If they don't know how to speak, they should get somebody that will interpret to them so that you will understand clearly exactly what they are looking at. Because okay, grammar, they may age aside, manage aside, they cannot know. Do you understand me? You need to, it's like I'm using you people. Hello? I don't think grammar, they may age this thing. I can go oyibo akpa kwa maka atọ ya the ọta ọta anyị ma ọta. Then we also have already mentioned the period that whatever. Then in that agreement, negotiation, everyone attached in the agreement needs to be specified. The next one, presence of a community legal representative and technical partner at the legislation. Let's go to the next one. That's negotiating. You know what you are doing has to do with law. And you don't know law. Lawyers are those who talk. You can't be going for such consultation without having a lawyer. What is very important. So that you can actually see that person also that for your own benefit. But when that person is not there, people are like a 01. So you need to bring somebody that knows to be doing your own sector. Very important. All my young men is the kind of talk there are other issues now to do environmental they ensure that people tell you from their own perspective what they think about the consultation and also some of the decisions that were taken at that meeting. Then the need for appropriate documentation of negotiation and public disclosure to shareholders where necessary. Everything I do operating see I will see that place. What they find them to be this. Here they are last but they just go on. Some talk go to the prayer and the people agree. Because what they find them then out of the event then they are one side. So when it comes to community dealings with investors, when it comes to setting up our goals development trust, when it comes to everything about extracting with respect to this community, there are ministries or authorities or regulators that have oversight functions. I've already mentioned that this morning. We talked about the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Agency Commission. That's the NPRC. I know that they have a zonal office in Owerri, Imo State. They are also in Abuja. I'm not in the office in Oka. I'm not sure. But you can reach out to them. Like I said earlier, they were supposed to be here. Spoke to them, but unfortunately this morning, the zonal coordinator called to say that we have to get internal issues that will not allow all of their management staff to be here with us. Because Oka come and pull and over. Marrying out the everything looks well. The OAS and many of the report to them. They are the people that will sanction them and get them to do the right thing. As long as those communities development trust is there on that. Then we have the Nigerian Ministry and Downstream Regulatory Authority. They are also part of people who are oversight function. Then when you look at the state level and federal level, we have the Ministry of Environment, we also have the Federal Environmental Protection Agency, we have the Ministry of Land, the local government, and even our own Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Resources. They have the level of authority. These are people that you can escalate whatever conflict you have. Better over some things you cannot fight by yourself. Talk to them. They know where to and how you can manage that your matter and take it further. And by so doing, peace will be restored in some of these places. So, what we are trying to say is that negotiation is important, consultation is important, and these parties are also very important. You don't do one and leave the other. Two of them go hand in hand. And when two of them are going hand in hand, you find out that there will be peace with that community. But when one is feeling that they have already, kind of been cheated, they are not about. But when all of us are there, we don't have never they will be here. And that's the way it is. So without wasting much of our time, I think I have to moderate this time so that I can get some questions also from people who have questions. Then we now go how to try and start the whole thing of it.
Vocabulary can ndị eze na ndị onye igwe. Because we were going to engineer Obiadi na Christian. Abuja doesn't. Abuja by English na jadi tu. Abuja doesn't na local government. Ọmọ agbẹ̀dẹ̀ n'anya ihe niile gbasara midstream and downstream petroleum under the Anambra State Ministry of Petroleum and Mineral Resources. I think I've seen you. First of all, today. So nyaka no yasi soto not correct. And coupled with some internal issues in the office, so when you visit the office, I take some certain things. So in there, but I hear you late today. So I'm begging for your apology for my lateness. My book, in a barrister, Tony Paya, was one hands-on. Good news message from the Commissioner for Petroleum and Mineral Resources and the Communities Investors Guideline Town Hall Forum organized by Space for Change 31st January 2024. Greetings to the entire community of Aguilera on this special occasion. The Anambra State Commissioner for Petroleum and Mineral Resources extends his heartfelt gratitude to you for your invaluable support in the petroleum producing communities of our state. We hope to see your commitment and contribution play a vital role in the sustainable development of this region. Your endeavors not only enhance economic growth but also contribute significantly to the well-being of local residents. We acknowledge the positive impact of initiatives in the Investors Guideline and Aguilera, which shall foster job creation, infrastructure development, and community empowerment. On this important occasion, there is a vital message which Mr. Commissioner wishes to convey in this town hall meeting. 1. Community development plan for oil producing communities. 2. Our structural framework for investors and partnership, private partnership in Anambra State. I start with the first one. It is community development plan for the oil producing communities. To get into the card is one fact. The Anambra State Ministry of Petroleum and Mineral Resources, in collaboration with the Anambra State House of Assembly, is currently working on the establishment of the Anambra State Oil Producing Areas Development Commission and SOPADEC, which shall be an interventionist agency in areas of infrastructural and human capital development in oil and gas producing areas of Anambra State. The Anambra State Ministry of Petroleum and Mineral Resources will ensure that the infrastructural and human development capital development in the oil producing communities is in place through our supervisory team, which shall include government liaison officers posted to the oil community exploring companies to ensure the following. 1. An equitable distribution of resources in Anambra State oil and gas producing local government area. 2. Provision of infrastructure facilities and socio-economic empowerment to transform our rural community. 3. Development of projects prioritized by the communities in the oil and gas producing areas in Anambra State. And 4.
enlightenment of the communities in the oil and gas producing areas on functions, policies, and activities of the Commission. Now, the key work here our structural framework with our private investors. Anambra State government and private investors who will partner with the government in the areas of petroleum operations. So I proceed with what is written here. A successful partnership requires a balance between the interests of Anambra State government and the private sector, with a focus on a long-term sustainable and mutual benefit. This is why Anambra State Ministry of Petroleum and Mineral Resources has established its general structure for a successful partnership between its private partners and the Anambra State government as a standard for establishing a memorandum of understanding between these two partners. The following parameters constitute our general structure for partnership with our private industry in the petroleum sector. 1. Clear regulatory framework. The Petroleum Industry Act, PIA, in Nigeria includes provisions that aim to attract private investment by creating a more competitive and transparent business environment. One key aspect is the introduction of upstream regulatory commission and the downstream regulatory authority, which are expected to enhance regulatory clarity and efficiency, providing a more conducive arrangement in petroleum operation, providing incentives for private investors to participate in exploring and production activities. The key one, transparent legal framework. Ensuring a transparent legal structure between the Anambra State Ministry of Petroleum and the private sector involves a clear legislation, regular audits, and open communication channels, robust contracts, regulatory framework, and an independent judiciary can also contribute to transparency and accountability. Regular reviews and updates of laws can help adapt to evolving business landscapes in the Anambra State petroleum sector. The key term, risk mitigation. Risk. The Ministry of Petroleum ensures risk mitigation for its private partners by conducting thorough risk assessments, fostering transparent communications in order to ensure proper insurance mechanisms for unforeseen challenges in the oil and gas sector of Anambra State. Additionally, promoting technology advancement and emphasizing environmental sustainability to contribute to long-term risk management constitutes part of the risk mitigations between the ministry and its private partnership. Again, fiscal incentives. The Anambra State Ministry of Petroleum ensures fiscal incentives for private partners through its transparent and regular dialogue with industry stakeholders to understand their needs and concerns, which is essential for creating an environment conducive to private sector participation. 5. Infrastructure development. The Anambra State government ensures good road network and power generation as a first step to ensure good infrastructure for private partners. Collaborating efforts between the government and the private industry are also welcomed to develop other necessary infrastructure and utilities. 6. Stable political environment. Our stable political environment minimizes the risk of policy changes that could adversely affect the investment climate. Through our stable political environment, we ensure a more secure and attractive business environment. 7. Environmental and social responsibility. which shall establish an agreement on environmental and social responsibility practices between our private sector and private partners to promote sustainability, compliance with regulations and positive community relations, which are crucial for long-term success of our partners. 8. Effective communication. Our regular and open communication channels between the Anambra State government and private investors help address concerns, resolve issues promptly, and maintain a healthy partnership. 9. Local workforce development. Collaborating with our private investors on initiatives to train and develop a skilled local workforce to ensure that the industry contributes to the growth of the community and helps build a sustainable talent pool which constitutes part of our partnership structure. That's number 10 now. Performance monitoring. Establishing a robust monitoring mechanism which allows the government to ensure that private investors adhere to agreed upon terms, fostering accountability and projects. Conclusion. I will not conclude my goodwill message without informing the community of the appointment of the new Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of the Anambra State Solid Minerals Development Company, in the person of Professor Charles Okwelu, who is as well Chairman of the Anambra State Petroleum and Energy Resources Limited. In 2 months' time, the state shall have a groundbreaking ceremony for the installation of gas pipeline from Abo in Delta State to Amansi in Awka, Anambra State. It is also of importance to let you know the 5 key areas which we are seeking for private partnership in the midstream and downstream petroleum sector of Anambra State, which are 1. Gas infrastructure project, 2. Modular refinery, 3. Petrochemical industries, 4. Pipeline monitoring technology, 5. Petroleum storage and distribution projects, that is petrol tanker parks. Together, we are fostering a prosperous and harmonious environment, and we look towards the continued collaboration for the mutual benefit of all stakeholders. Your dedication to the growth of our petroleum sector is instrumental in shaping a brighter future of Anambra State. Thank you for this town hall meeting, which I consider a part of our journey towards sustainable development in our oil producing communities and the state at large. Warm regards, Barrister Tony Ifanya, Commissioner for Petroleum and Mineral Resources. Thank you very much.
I see that your office, you are using it for unlike you will say where we're going from. I'm going to as now I'm adding a new pipeline very soon. Now,
Delta State. It will first of all pass through the federal right of way down to Amansi, which the private partners are Frado Gas and Power Limited. So the gas pipeline will pass from, like I said, from Abo down to Amansi on the federal right of way. Any company that needs this gas can now tap from that major gas line. I hope you understand.
thank you, for reaction on the question, the previous presentation.
And the audience, people, the last presented by the moderator, I was supposed to assume from my own little belief about the environmental and social impact. Your lecture revolves around the environmental and social impact. Everything you talk about is all about environmental and social impact. Ibe na-ekwu bụ na onye gwara n'okwu Igbo Neto that spoke last. Everything okwu gbasara the lecture ya dara ikwu gbasara environmental and social impact assessment. Na-enwe environmental and social impact assessment the company na-abata na before we deliver actually. Then na-enwe midterm or maybe after some maybe as maybe deemed necessary. Then we post maybe lecture. The reason for environmental and social impact, how much the condition of the environment before we belong. Then with time and then we find the impact of the company on the environment as time goes on. So this very document, I'm not on the basis. I'm not on the handle. The buy I'm not on the handle. I was able part and parcel of it. I was actively participated while they are preparing those environmental and social impact assessment. And why I was involved independent body, expert was given, why I am biased. Because everything equal, starting from the compensation for rights, for family land, land by the kingdom, it has social impact. Then when I can arise the right in case of the cultural heritage, maybe differently culture, the olden days, or more fall into that land and then exploration. Then you also talked about issues. So, if you most of the things in the other states, and they never have access to that document. So, the advice is with the I want to do to have access to that document. I am only learning because when I am manifesting, or when I had to wear the parade or the big environment, or the 7 I am one compensation efforts. I am the mitigation measures efforts being put in place, and compensation efforts being implemented. And given responsibilities, not even responsible for the mitigation measures, of which are the environmental impact and social impact, efforts being responsibilities. Would they have getting done all over? Oh, the government can do both. So my question, if I get better to have this very important document, I got to it. I will if I will given or what as well, maybe a environment or maybe the bar.
This gas flare under this new PIA, this is support of gas flare. And the car had nearby other for gas flare. So, one of the higher the property one at the same time, the Honorable Commission for something representing the Commission. Thank you for your good sweet message. In I won't give whenever the fact that 2 people in the community, they want to go ahead and see you, and what I see you, and what I see. Even if I get go ahead, this specified as you will, is it as it will. Never, I will have the community. We will go to community. We will not the community. We will see the community. We will treat it as a great community. We will treat the event for the annual work. Treat the airline for the life. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you for the good message. And the Spaces for Change is always willing to collaborate and also to partner with any government or communities that need our expertise. So we will continue to do what we know how to do best. And as we do communities, we want the government also to be involved. Because without government, to really get our rights and also the government needs to be involved. Put anything and go back to where I'm coming from. it's now left for the community and still to government. Do you understand me? So, Okihane and their own role is very, very important. That is why we did this thing to welcome and also to invite them here. Because once we live here, they are the closest authority that you can relate to with regards to all of the things we are talking about. And I know that their offices are always open to receive your complaints or even reactions that you have based on the extractive activity happening in your community. To respond to what my brother, the issue he raised, I agree. It's been a long time that the EIA for, like say it's already now, because today I got to understand that Shell has been here before the, before ORED, right? So when we are talking about your EIA now, we can't even place who did what. You can't say, this is how this Shell opera cost. Once you already said it, second. Which people now? Where do we look for it? But I want to believe that this is a document that needs to be at the ministry, particularly Ministry of Environment. Hello? Hello? They have, oversight over this environmental impact, assessment. And for people that, because some of the communities that came to us, what were in Igbo State, to us to lay the same complaint, they don't know the content of their EIA. We told them the same thing. Can you approach the Ministry of Environment in Igbo State? Write an application. This, that, and that. We don't know whether this thing is in existence. If it's in existence, can you oblige us with a copy? It's a public document that you need to know everything about, that you have the right to require. And then they got it. They said to them, because sometimes, if I have in Nigeria, I don't have a map.
Two more minutes. Dr. Martin is here. Chairman, okay. It will be another part of the chairman of
Okay. So, as I'm trying to explain, I think that is what we need to do. Because now, it's been a long time, very long time, that we don't even know whether such document existed. So, how do you go about it? It's by making inquiry. When you do the already want to ask how I and what some oil companies do, I'm sorry to say that, but that is what we are seeing in practice. They just duplicate what is obtainable in another community. Change it, and now bring it back to a particular place and now buy without doing the work. Without, first of all, finding out the peculiarity of that community out of India. Because when you never know about the same thing, that is. When you never know about the same thing, so you really need to be there, do the assessment, meet people, talk to people in the community that will give you some of the facts in the community idea. It's not something that is done by the oil company. Every expert there.
This people change. But others are there, and we learn that I got our life for goodness sake. I will not if I die now, or what kind of marriage. I can do the reason. I still actually have a baby in an accident. Question very well, question more. I could see a lot of this, a picture water. When I Manuel, I am a man and not a go. When I will go, maybe I am a time. And I give up a calico, if I do so go. Yanni was so good, boy. And I go when I open now. All year, let me see a line, Billy, then I am not a man. Let me see about a rolling boom. Opening a joy in a boom. Can't get a finger, my new swag, Mandina, hell. Can't wait when we can. In watching. Chua. maka na ọ yere mụ mgbe a ga na-eti ya anyị ga na-eri ya anyị amaghị ma ọ bụ every month ka a ga na-eke ego ọyị ya.
That you bring women into some of this conversation. And we are preaching that also at Faith for Change. Here in Ireland, even this committee I talked about, we have a little mind. Nwaanyị ọbụla isi kpakọtara ọrụ anyị na-akọ biko tinye enyi ya ebe ahụ unu ga-ama ọ ga-eketekwa oge ruru ndị obodo natara ha ọ dị mkpa biko ihe o kwuru dị very very important because I didn't want to go into that subject. It's another lecture on its own. It's another lecture because the truth about it is that at some point this oil will be exhausted. At some point, even the people whatever, and then they have the oil. We are now talking about energy transition. About energy transition. Energy transition is all about leaving fossil fuel in the ground. All you like is that and the thing is causing climate issue. It's causing climate issues. What do they know? What is not happening in Africa? Everywhere so much heat is on the global north, and they have come together. Every year, and a COP. Do you understand? They just held the one in November. It was held in Dubai. The other day was in Egypt. One day they were their world will become the future. Now, everywhere go back solar cars, solar everything, living oil. I don't even know how to talk about, but that is what is happening already. But in Nigeria, we are saying that we still have oil in large quantities. You can't tell us to leave our oil. Then you want us to follow your solar energy and everything. Now, can you just talk about not at this one, I have the other one. Do you understand me? But that will not make us forget that there is a future, there is tomorrow. So even as you are eating from the oil today, first we start thinking about tomorrow. So to answer our question, I mentioned about our needs assessment. By the time we set up our whole community development fund and we start putting our needs together, can we start considering having projects like empowering the youth towards, sustainable energy? This energy transition and even solar energy and all, what happens is a skill. Solar panels, always in effect here home. Do you understand? My house, I use getting MCA. We call it yellow box, MCA yellow box. I don't use generator again. Once there is no light, put that thing on. It will give you light on a charge phone, on a paper. So it has its own type of fan. TV name. Do you understand me? We are gradually moving away from fuel, generator, and everything about it. And it is people that is inventing that solar. It is people that will come and mount it in your house. It is people that will work on that yellow box. Can we begin to empower our youth towards that thing so that they will be ready before the future happens? Yes, sir. Everything mustn't be about building hospitals. Everything mustn't be about you can give somebody still okay to help out in life and it will benefit himself and his next generation. So even as we are doing our needs assessment, because let us look at things that are sustainable, needs that are sustainable, projects that are sustainable. Let's not just be for the immediate. Even now, can we train our youth towards sustainable energy? It's important. You must go to learn that one. You can partner with investors that are into it. They will come down here and train the youth. You get 5 panels. Take everywhere. Actually, they will give you income at the end of the day. So, cover me and you go. You are very right. At some point, all you will see. At some point, you will even leave it. is there. We need to think about alternatives. Very, very important.
Mayor.
Ndị ikwe nọ n'ebe a, ekele m unu. Ekele m unu. Igwe na ndị isi, igwe ejikwe ndị okwu n'aka. Ụlọ okwu n'isi igwe nke o. Ndị eze n'isi ọ bụrụ nke gọọmenti nyere m obodo ka ọ bịa. Mana egwuru m okwu nwere ekele m igwe. Ekele m. Anambra ekele m unu. Ọma mbala kacha. Ọma mbala dị general agụ agụ. Nke mbụ bụ ka ekele mma niile.
Igwe ọgbara n'ebe. Igwe ọgbara.
Yes, not mind if you go over. No, never. Every one, Anambra ekele m unu. So okay, the local ekele m express that. Asị m ka nkene mmadụ ncha ma ndị nawagara na ma ndị nọ na ya ụlọ arụkọ ụka were bịa tata bụ eke nnukwu mbọsị at least ọma mbara anyị na adị nche ndị ọba rụrụ eke bụ ụfọdụ ndị so na onye ọbụla ahụ na-ahụ ụla rapụrụ nnukwu iwe mgbe nọ n'ebe asị m ka nkene asị m ka nkene kwe ndị spaces for change maka ịrụkọ arụkọ ụka ịbịa ịkọsịla anyị na ịkọwara anyị first na Chukwu egosiga anyị anyị wee bụrụ ndị Igbo oge wee mee ihe ọma mesie anyị wee bụrụ ndị Anambra nke o mesịrị ịkọwasị na anyị bụ ndị ọma mbara ọ dị ike ọbara mana ịgụ ọgwụ anyị mana for the fact na ịkọ onye ọma mbara bụrụ onye Anambra with a special blessing Chineke nyere anyị wee kpara ikwu azụ ndị Anambra isi na n'ebe ama m na adị n'isi ọgụ ya ndị Anambra isi na n'ebe unu ka Chukwu kesiri nwere ike wee ndị ọzọ anyị kọrọ n'ọgba anyị one of the things na-bụ anọrọ na ebe ndị local government chairman nọ na-atụsa mụ besi na mpe mụ besi mụnwa besi mana ana m apụla dị ọmụ kasị ndị ọnwa njikasị ya bụ n'ọmụ nwere airport so ihe so ide bụ na ibe ihe n'elu ọ bụrụ ya na n'ebe dị ya na ndị anyị na-eje obodo dị iche iche na-eje obodo Igbo wee ibe ọ bụrụ Chukwu na-abịa ebe osisi ọ mmadụ o ji eme gị o ji eme ihe n'ụwa taata ma nke taata anyị nọ anyị bụ ndị nọ n'ebe part of the things Chineke ya ebe anyị niile apart from personal nkwu anyị etu ị nọ na taata bụrụ onye Anambra steeti bụrụ community development head kere ihe ime na mgbe gị anyị nwere mmata bụ nnukwu ime ọ bụ ya but if care is not taken mana nwere ike ịbụ ọghọm nyere anyị if we don't take our time and a program like this bụ ihe anyị that ọghọm ka anyị mee gịnị ka anyị gote ihe n'ezi ọ bụla na-ekele the organizers mere ihe anyị gbanwe ekele ịkọwa n'anya ụfọdụ oge ndị na-abịa amị mmanụ n'obodo na-emeri ịnọ n'obodo ba na ya amị mmanụ emeri ọ bụrụ just a clique of persons bụ ndị ya na-emegide ya na-ebere ndị ọzọ na-aka mana ọ bụrụ na anyị bido kịta nke anyị na-edoro ka akwa bido organize communities anụ ka ndị mmadụ na-ekwu because also ị na-organize community gị as the whole communities ndị nọ na ebe obi ndị onye na-emetụta na-akpaghị ya kịta na nsogbu ya na-emere gịnị ya na-edi na because na nke eziokwu bụ na mgbe ime mmadụ ma ya ebido in earnest almost every community dị na Anambra is there be affected so ọ bụ na every community be affected ị can imagine Enugu otu Unani Eziagụ otu probably na community nọkwa na agha na ndị agha opposite ndị a dịka the center so kịta bụ primary stage anyị bile plan and nwee the focus Can the audio can even get the high track? But part of the problem when I want to write that are proper, and most of these companies are not made as social corporate responsibilities. Now, sometimes on other government focus in the thereby investing people level, trouble near to by force. And I'm not defining a peace love. People are there, I making so leave open I wear the answer. I one whenever they give that last point only one of the things, despite any other thing, Mandi will host community, Mandi will more association will come with you. And that close point the government they make sure. Now those companies, when they go on and government they make now one. So who know them at this stage, at this committee, I know but probably told them the composition. And at this committee, no blow for them of the matter. They are the only put them one day again. It was the one I was really the beginning. Oh, I because my uncle. If you did the 2 days, or 2 days, then I last 5 years. If you know we were last 1 year, because we begin to do what? If I have a lot of things, that is where they get there. Through this month, yes, then you state government and local government, I can go in there community by community, because you never work on this year, but you can never work on an land. So they are ready to and this discussion continue in a smaller unit. I give you never man. As I know, that's wrong. I can make it. That's wrong. I can make it. I question of that's wrong. Why do you say question? Can you organize that mind? My life, the rock that is natural resources. Should I get to see I would you go on the line? Why and now you don't ever, you didn't ever. I have the capacity, I have the knowledge of the data communities within DIG and DPH, even though I can do. That's the kind of thing my paper, you get it. Darling, make it was you.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm a Benach. Makola Fag. Yeah, you guys can yes, I want to go to Makanapa. Yes, in this space for change, I'm going to use Bia Hotel. Kabianya, Kuzela, and Kuzify Amaro. So now, I'm Maloka, Obidic, Mapoli, you will hear Yalunya Bonod. After 2-3 months, 5 years, I could line. And I could line, I am done to be in Amaro. So I'm back in this place of change. My 3 months, 5 years, I know I can get this one of the time, okay? Where the Uncle was here now, or the more they get more. Yes, I can. Thank you.
But because of conducive environment they will have, and more also, no Lagos, like Lagos was today, for the first time. I will go and go now and you won't believe it. Kids, brother, before na-ele nne a sị ewere ego ogogo ya amarụ m ego na-ebili ka iji wee gote nkụzi banyere anya ebe a ibe a na-apụ aka nne bụ ekete ego mana ibe aba na-enye anyị mma ka a keta ego amarụ ma ndị nọ n'obodo ime ụgbọta so ọ bụrụ obodo ime ụgbọta n'ibe a na-akụziri anyị na ibe a na-emegbu anyị na mkpụrụ n'ibe ji aga ma na anyị kwesịrị inwepụrụ arụ ọ bụrụ anyị kwesịrị ndụ ọrụ ka anyị nara ibe arụma na-enye anyị ka anyị nachalịbanya ọrụ izu ihe na-agụ ọrụ izu ndị mmadụ na-arụma arụ na nkwa mmadụ ikpochara nne ma sekwuru ndị ebe ya ndị nwanyị na-anya nwa bụrụ mmadụ mechamecha bụ ndị mmadụ mechamecha Anambra steeti mara nwa n'ebe a gọvanọ Anambra steeti mara nwa n'ebe a so soon ka anyị na-ayọ ka ọ bụrụ na ya asị anyị na ike agwụọla mụ na igwe omenala tupu anyị metakọta isi n'ọnwa ma na-abịawa na afta oge ahụ tupu anyị metakọta isi o nwetara mgbe spesita anyị na ndị ka ọ bụ na-aba anyị kaba nọ ma na-arụ ọrụ ebe anyị si ka anyị nọdebe ka anyị ka nọ n'ebe anyị wee na-arụ ọrụ kaba mmetụrụ obi ala ma enye anyị ebe ala anyị ga-eji wee rụọ ọrụ ibe ala na-enye anyị na-aba na-agbọ bụ ebe anyị ga-eji wee rụọ ọrụ ọ ihe ga-eji wee n'ihi onye abụ na-dị na be gị na-eme gị na ịmarụ nya ka ọ na-enye anyị so anyị kasara ihe ụmụ daalụ
People not to be okay. The last thing I want to talk about the whole development trust. Places for change were able to codify. That's the way it is. Since then, it was the PIA. That 2021, August 16, we were able to write what has been happening around the PIA and as it concerns the whole community and development trust. So it will not really go around, but we believe that the representatives should be able to have this. If we have the time, we can go for because it goes to show what has been happening about setting up this trust. Are you with me? And how important are they? Like what we have here, as of September last year, the NUPRC issued warnings to oil companies due to the delay in remitting the 3%. Due to the delay in remitting the 3% annual contribution to the whole community development trust. The NUPRC last year, they had reprimanded the oil companies because they have not remitted the 3%. But you cannot, like I say, you can't start talking when you don't have a trust. It is said to go to work before you do anything. So I cannot verify. The also is already agitated now. How was that the other because let us get to that stage. And I know that when we get to that stage, the necessary things will be done. So we are still going to share this. What we are doing is information based. We just want to build your capacity to know the right thing, what you need to know. So as many as this one be working, people want to use it very well and also share the information so that it will go wide. I don't want to keep us your time because some people surround this question before we took it. So for personal time to be here, I send thanks to His Royal Highness, even Jacob Bade. It was the one that is the one instrumental to having us here today. And I want to believe this is the kind of leader we need because he has been something good and he has gone forth to bring back that youth back to the community. And that means that the change, the expected change will come to start doing. In order, I want to thank all the Royal Highness, send the most regards and uplifting of our executive director, Victoria and also a sending hand of fellowship. If you want those kind of things also to happen in your own community, in your domain, you can also reach out to us. We are always available just for us to agree on the time based on our own time. Because as we are here, by next month, we are moving over to either Osun or even Warri. So because we really want things to be done the right way. Let us contribute our own little quarter and see whether the Nigeria will get better. It is for all of us. You understand? So, without wasting time, everybody, people, I'm really excited to see every one of you. And I want to believe, even as we are living here, we will continue to prosper in Omambara and even in our village. In the mighty name of Jesus. So, we can call it a day if we don't have any other questions.
As no ka amalu ko bi de ginyelo njem a.
Because I do more,
and I was so native. And I buy butter. When I did make a wet jealousy, and then I use my team, Balloon,
I can egg.
I don't know.
He will.
Thank you
very much.
Ask I'm a good cook.
The decision of the host committee platform and hello. Yeah, in the session of the host committee platform at CSC, is it only the company that is going to register it, or are they going to go along with the community? And let me come again. In the session of the host committee platform at CSC, is it only the company that is going to go and register it there, or should they go along with the host committee, or the people the committee has nominated to represent them in the host trust?
Then we're a board of trustees. That's the first one. Then we're a management committee. Then we're an advisory committee. All these committees, they are members. Do you understand? And all these members, any jury states which have their names during that registration. By the time we agree, as in I saying oil company get one meeting, and we have that agreement. As we are agreeing, we are writing it down. It's those things that we write down that we're taking to CSC. When we want to go to CSC, it mustn't be everybody following to go to CSC. No, now. You can nominate one or two representatives to join them to go. Do you understand? And moreover, the situation at CSC also, you know, it's the lawyer that will do that. Hello? Because it's as good as that you want to incorporate a company. Do you understand me? So it's not really something that will require ground. All we need is your documentation, the objective, the name, the particulars of that particular trust. Once we have all those details, they will submit it to the necessary offices at CSC, and they will take it up from there. Everything is tired, the name come out. When you go through the document, you can of everybody that is in each of the committees and the group. So necessarily, we don't need to, all of us as a community, start going to CSC or very room. All we need is that document. After you make documentation, who is where, who is the member of this one, and then those are the documents you need to go for incorporation. Not really everyone.
Yes, I took I am malo open morning where keep going. Yellow Jama, the specific change. I believe. Thank you.
I'm highly delighted. My name is Royal Majesty. Igwe Barrister. Sir, Igwe Okejo. Igwe Patrick. Igwe Chuchumon. It's a very good thing that happened to us. Because the worst thing that can happen to somebody is living in ignorance. So they have a light to see. And it will go a long way. Not to repeat what happened in Niger Delta in our domain. So it is a very good development. What remains now is to get home and see how we can put it into practice. what they are passing through over there.
We'll continue to
Because product to
manage our experience and share. Okay? Yes.
Thank
So
you.
product to
I can speak about your effort. I can speak about your effort. And if it was not coming out of back home. Yes, come on. Come on for the money where you go on yellow German this was for changing the house.
I'm His Royal Highness. This place will change.
Segment the activities of audience. Segment the activities of CGS discussing within that.
Because even
segment the pipeline right of way. Because some of that only the audio of your business is not supposed to be so under the line of the notice of the commissioner of the project sustained
then because opening your right. So, Secavania can never out their rights. I'm not putting up with them and I was in them. So, I don't have to get a control and although it's these people from Lagos, they see your way. So, I'm controller for petrol, oil, and gas. Yes, before I did go to the house. Then the states, they are security. I'm never
I can look at the kitchen. Macano folk will evangel cap before Poyama on your marriage.
Nobody in Mali, I can I need just a little time to spend. The people are only willing to spend. Make sure that in your living in the lesbian, almost be ready to remain in your living so that
you go again.
All I do is never get our time. Tina can I ask you to live in our party? Tina can I believe in a way I am never lying. In a young window. Yeah, I'm not then you want to be in our party. So I said I know. I know your baby, I am not producing. I am not only buying a ticket. And when I go to the line of night, I am not. My little level of the is a very ticket. This dog, you don't know when I am not going on. Over the window, all up to where that's why I mean, no, not back in our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Thy kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, and we forgive those who trespass against us. Do not let us fall into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. In the name of the Father,